Hello friends, I am Roshni Patel from the College of Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Technical Education and Research Center, Navsari. In previous lecture, we were discussed about some topics of chapter 1, that is dynamics of communication, including definition of communication, process of communication, verbal and non-verbal communication, and then after elements of non-verbal communication. So here today we are discuss about the elements of non-verbal communication in brief. So here first one is flow of content. The component of non-verbal communications are as follows. First one is kinesics. Kinesics means study of the way in which certain body movements like personal appearance, posture, gesture, eye contact, facial expression, etc. Then after second one is chronemics or time language, means the study of the role of time in communication. Then after third one is paralinguistic. It means connected with the ways in which people show what they mean other than by the words they use, like by their tone of voice or volume, or by making sounds with the breath, pace, pitch, intonation, articulation and pronunciation, poses, etc. And then after last one is proxemics. It includes intimate zone, personal zone, social zone and public zone. Kinesics is related to movement of any part of the body. In other words, it is termed as the body language. Body language is a very essential factor in non-verbal communication. The study of body motion as related to speech is called kinesics. Kinesics is the term in which the body communicates without words. In 1952, Ray Birdwhistell had used the term kinesics for the first time. He was an anthropologist who desired to study how people communicate through gesture, posture, eye contact or movement. When a speaker speaks, listeners see him before they start to listen him. So body language involves each and every aspect of appearance, what we wear, how we stand, how we move, or our facial expression, etc. So kinesics includes first one is personal appearance. Personal appearance of a person has the first impact on the others. It plays a pivotal role in non-verbal communication. We can get an idea about the person from his physical appearance because it involves clothes, hair, jewelry, cosmetics and accessories like briefcase, tie, footwear and so on. For example, a boy wearing an earring, heavy chains and torn jeans will create a bad impression among people. This is because his appearance communicates to people and tell everything about the people. So here, in the figure, there are two persons are standing. First one dress up casual wear and second one dress up formal wear. In professional setup, a person must dress up neat and clean with formal clothing. Dressing correctly means dressing as per the occasion. It does not mean dressing fashionably or wearing expensive clothes. So dressing up appropriately helps us create a good impression. The appearance of person depends on several things. People give their attention to those communicators who are neat in their appearance. Personal appearance communicates our mood, attitude and personality long before the actual communication starts. People associate dress and appearance to attitude and behavior of the communicator. It is said that costume is the character. Then after posture. It refers to the way we sit, stand, or walk, means posture is the way in which we hold our body. It can be described as the way we hold ourselves. The way we stand or sit indicates something about our attitudes, thoughts, emotions, or health. Standing or sitting erect, leaning backward or forward, bending or stretching sideways, everything conveys some meaning to the viewers about us. We can build a positive or negative impression of ourselves in others' mind through the body posture. Therefore, we should ensure that our body is not sending wrong signal in interviews, meetings, and informal interactions. It needs continuous practice to ensure that our body talks positive. Posture thus indicates our level of involvement and interest. It must be remembered that graceful posture is a great asset in every profession. So here, in the figure, there are two persons are in standing position. First person build positive impression by standing in a straight position, and second one build negative impression by standing in bending posture. So second person create a negative impression. In second picture, there are 4 sitting posture. The upper 3 posture create negative impression, and fourth one build a positive or effective impression in profession life. Then after gesture. Gesture means it refers to hand movements. How we keep our hand or move then while communicating has an impact on the listener. There are some hand positions which are negative and some which are positive, which needs to be imbibed. Then we can even enhance negative our communication by using our hands. The hands movement helps us express many things, which adds to our verbal communication and gives more meaning to it. So here, in the figure, that there are some hand positions which are negative and some which are positive. The first person is in open-handed gesture. Then second person is in namaste gesture, third one is in palm on palm gesture, and last one is in open-handed folding arms. So these gestures are the positive gestures. Then after, fifth one is in fiddle with keys, pen or any other accessories while talking will create negative impression. Then after, sixth one create a sixth one posture. Never point out anyone with a finger, that is a negative gesture. Then after, seventh person standing with folding arms. So here, never fold your hands while speaking or listening, which build negative impression. Then after, eighth one person whose hands are in pocket. So here, never put your hands inside your pocket while speaking or listening. It shows closed, shy or arrogant personality. And then after, last one gesture is of crossed fingers. So these are the 5 gestures build a negative impression. Then after, eye contact. Eyes convey the true emotions and feelings one is going through. They convey one's confidence. When a person speaks with an eye contact, it shows his or her own conviction in what he or she is saying, and thus it helps in gaining trust of the listener. Also, it is important for the listeners to make an eye contact with the speaker to assure that he or she is listening with interest. Therefore, looking into the eyes of the speaker or a listener is very important. In professional communication, eye contact is important at the time of interview, presentation, meeting, group discussion, and any other one conversation. Here, so in the figure, there is the speaker gives the speech without any eye contact. Hence, the audience is not interested in the listening. And here in this figure, the speaker gives speech with eye contact, so audience is interested in listening. So we can say that the following are the tips to use eye contact as the tool for doing effective communication. So first one is maintain an eye contact with your listeners so that they are connected with the topic. Second one is while doing a presentation, group discussion, meeting or any other communication where listeners are many, try to make an eye contact with each participant from time to time to include everyone in the discussion. Then after, when the gathering is very large and it is not possible to make eye contact with everyone, at least try to look at front rows and look in all directions to include the entire audience. Then after, through your eye contact, you must be able to show your confidence and many other expressions related to your topic like surprise, happiness, disgust, conviction, etc. Do not make your listeners uncomfortable by constantly starting at them. So these are the tips for doing effective communication. Then after, facial expression. Just like eye contact, facial expressions also helps in expressing your emotions. While we talk to someone, our facial expression also adds to our words and gives it more impact. But sometimes some people do not know how to use facial expressions and it works the other way. So much so that what a person is saying through words may turn out to be completely opposite of the facial expressions. This renders the listeners confused. Also, as a listener, the facial expressions say a lot whether you are listening with interested or boredom or whether you are completely disconnected from the conversation. So here in figure there are some facial expression like first one is pleasant, second one is frowning, third one is surprise and fourth one is disappointed facial expression. So here following are the tips on how to use facial expression to enhance our communication. Always start a conversation with a smile. Then after, second one is keep a pleasant facial expression, otherwise your listener may think that you are not very interested in the communication. While in presentation, change your facial expressions according to the topic. Use expression of conviction, surprise, authorization, disappointed, etc. appropriate to your topic. And last one is be conscious about your expression as a listener. Facial expressions of the listener showing interest in listening encourage the speaker to share more. Then after, chronemics or time language. There is a saying, time is money. Chronemics is the study of how a person conveys information through the use of time. Under time language, we send out signals indicating the importance of time to us. Time management has become a very important part of business management. Business enterprise employ several time saving devices in office. All communications should be rightly timed to be effective. For professional, time is a valuable commodity. If you reach late for an appointment, it will be taken as a negative point. Though the presentation is interesting, if you stretch the presentation beyond time limit, the listeners will be bored because they have prepared their mind for specific time. Then after third one is paralinguistic. The word para means like. It is a like language but not language. We cannot fully rely on it, though it is not a language. It helps in successful delivery of words. Paralinguistic is the form of non-verbal communication because it does not involve words. It is the way of speaking words, the way of speaking in different from person to person. It gives human touch to the words. Written words do not have that much urgency to the words because written words are static on the page. Paralanguage helps creating fluctuation so that it enhances meaning of the spoken words. So this includes the following. These are volume. First one is volume. Volume of speech must neither to be loud to hurt the ears or of others nor to be soft to leave confusion. Low volume also indicates low confidence. Hence, we must maintain a moderate volume while speaking. Then after pace. The pace, rate or speed of speaking is also very important. Some people speak so fast that the listener has to force very hard to be able to catch each word, while others speak so slowly that the listener is bored. Therefore, it is important to maintain medium speed of speech so that clarity of each word is there without losing the interest of the listener. Then after pitch. Pitch means the frequency of the speech. We can change the pitch from low to high and vice versa to create an interest in the mind of listeners. Good orators have the skill of using different pitch at different time to attract the sudden attention of the listeners. Then after intonation, articulation and pronunciation means the way we give expression to the words. The intonation adds to the meaning of word and creates more impact. Also, correct pronunciation is very important as English language has many words with nearly same pronunciation. This may lead to confusion. Then after voice and voice modulation means everyone does not have a great quality of voice, but if practiced, voice quality can be improved so that it becomes pleasant for the ears of a listener. Some people even change their voice to emphasize on a certain point and attract the attention of the audience. And then after last one is pauses. Taking short and long pauses from time to time indicates the use of punctuations and make a sentence clear. Moreover, giving a long pause helps in giving some time to the listener to think about the point just made. It shows the importance of that point and demands more attention of the listener. Then after fourth one, Fourth element is proxemics. Proxemics refers to the study of space with respect to its effect on communication. Everyone has some space in which only selective people are allowed to enter. The knowledge of this space makes us equipped with the way to use them for making communication effective. Let us see how proxemics affect the way we communicate, particularly in professional lives. So first one is in intimate zone. This zone is a distance up to which only a few close people are allowed to enter, which include only family members and very close friends. No stranger is allowed to intrude in this zone. In professional situation, we must respect every person's personal space and don't act like an intruder. The people who belong to this zone have maximum influence on our thinking and decision making. This is the reason why we think more about our family members and very close people when we have to take an important decision, or sometimes we even ask for their opinion. Then after, second one is personal zone. In this zone, the distance maintained in various social gatherings, business gatherings, or between colleges may vary from a few inches to few feet. This is a distance which maintains the warmth of personal space at the same time maintaining the formal distance. Often the personal and formal relations fuse with each other in this zone in order to have comfort of working together. The views of people belonging to this zone are important and may affect but may not be the reason for our decision making. Then after, third one is social zone. In this zone, a distance of few feet or even more is a social zone. Usually, acquaintances which we may know only for a particular purpose fall into this category. The security person of our society, the person coming at our place to repair various appliances, the laundry person, etc. fall into this category. Their influence on us is almost negligible. If a person in this zone gives you some advice or opinion, there are least chances that you will take their opinion seriously because it hardly matters what they think. And last one is public zone. In this zone, a distance or several feet is called public zone. Particularly, a defined area is specified for the speaker to address the audience. Even the scope of eye contact is minimal in this zone. People in this zone are almost strangers and hence they have no influence on us. Thus, as the distance between a speaker and a listener decreases, the influence increases. We can use this knowledge to our advantage to create more impact on our listeners without intruding their personal space. This knowledge can particularly be applied in meetings, presentations, and classrooms by moving around the space available so that you are able to remain close to every member at different point of time. So these are the elements of non-verbal communication in brief. So here these are the GTO questions that is asked in previous year. Thank you.